Hello there, everybody. My name is Ryan, although I'm better known as the Sophisticated Gentleman on the No New Friends podcast. Dane asked me to put together a compilation of clips of times he was on other shows. I was more than happy to oblige, as a big fan of Big Beautiful Diz myself, as well as some of the other programs that are part of the Creators Club. I'm going to be popping in between clips to offer up some context for what's about to play. But without further ado, let's head into our first clip. Our first clip comes to us courtesy of the Diz His podcast. It was on this episode that Dane discussed with the crew the history of the Main Street Electrical Parade.
There were some similarities between the parades. There have always been floats and characters from Alice in Wonderland, Peter Pan, Snow White, Cinderella, Pinocchio, and Pete's Dragon. Earlier versions of the parade also featured less popular characters from The Fox and the Hound, Return to Oz, and Babes in Toyland. In the Tokyo version of the parade, modern franchises were added into the float lineup. Tokyo Disneyland's Dream Lights Parade featured Toy Story 3, Tangled, and Frozen floats. The movie that is noticeably absent in the Tokyo parade is Snow White.
And why is that?
I have no idea. Do you have any idea why?
Well, I'm asking.
No, I don't know. I mean, it's maybe they just didn't have room for it, I guess. But I can know one thing, that I love the Pete's Dragon float in this. I do remember that for sure. I remember because I love dragon. Dragons are cool, right? So you got Pete's Dragon. Growing up, I love Pete's Dragon, even though I tried to watch it again, and I'm like, I don't know why I liked it so much, But I loved seeing Pete's Dragon, the dragon kind of all lit up green and all that. Super. Elliot, right?
Yeah.
It was super awesome. I don't know why they don't have Snow White in the Tokyo Parade, but I do like how in the new Tokyo Parade that they added Toy Story. They have Tangled. They have the Frozen floats. I think that's pretty awesome, right?
That's probably why they didn't have the Snow White parade, because they're putting in, float, because they're putting in newer movies.
Mm-hmm.
So they just figured, we'll put in the new out with the old. Even though Snow White, it's a classic attraction, you might want to make some differences in the Tokyo version.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I think that's the reason why. And I think that's I think that's what they're kind of doing in the parks also. It's the same thing with Splash Mountain, we talked about plenty of times, right? Is that I want to see a lot of the new stuff in it. Come on, I know some of the old stuff is cool, but let's keep the old stuff, keep the old attractions, but put new stuff, new theming on it.
Yeah.
I bet you in Tokyo, like, Snow White's not that popular. That's why they took her out.
Maybe. That could be it too.
I mean, that has to be a part of it. But Tangled was awesome. I would love to see a Tangled float.
Yeah, for sure.
Our next clip is also from the Diz His podcast, and it falls into the category of clips I like to call the Dane's Opinions. With this clip, Dane was on an episode discussing the history of Journey into Imagination, and Dane has a lot to say about the specific versions of Journey into Your Imagination and Journey into Imagination with Figment. His opinions are very much rightfully so, in my opinion, but it's still a very entertaining clip to listen to.
A baffling decision made by Imagineers was to take out all Dreamfinder and Figment animatronics, which upset many guests. You ride through into a stream of visual and audio gags as you travel room to room. With the low budget, these rooms felt very carnival-like and did not live up to the Disney brand. In mid-2001, Kodak expressed how unhappy they were with their investment. Disney, trying to hold on to the investor, decided to pay the bill to try to restore the ride back to its former glory. On October 8, 2001, after only 2 years, Journey into Your Imagination was closed. 6 months later, Journey into Imagination with Figment opened on June 2nd, 2002. Eric Idle came back to host the show. It featured many of the same sets from Journey into Your Imagination, but with Figment added into them, almost like an overlay. The grand finale had Eric Idle and Figment singing One Little Spark, the original song of Journey into Imagination. The final room has multiple Figments spread around, donning different outfits, paying homage to the original ride.
I like that last room.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things I want to talk about here. I want to talk about Dane's why he's so angry about this, right? We're gonna dig a little deeper into it.
Yeah.
DVC Lounge, you've been there, right, Dane?
Dude, Oh man, it's. I haven't been to Top of the World, but it's great. I mean, it's absolutely amazing, and especially if you know what the ImageWorks used to be up there, it's awesome.
Yeah. I enjoy it because it's a nice place to go to kind of relax.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can hang out up there with your family. You know, you can bring friends up there. There's like pins up there. You can trade pins when you first walk up.
And the soda.
Yeah, and there's like, you know, so they have cookies too, and like Dane said, Cheez-It, soda, and they have like tablets and computers, you know, different areas, so kids can go ahead and go on there and kind of you can go on there, go on the internet and stuff.
Yeah. And Alex said that it was abandoned until they put the DVC lounge. That's partially correct.
Okay.
Because what they did is they got the DVC lounge, they got rid of what was there, but they walled off the Dreamfinder School of Art. I think that's what it's called. And the Rainbow Corridor and a couple of other things. And in 2018, I believe, the Rainbow Corridor was taken out, and Dreamfinder, I forget right now how that is, but yeah, that was abandoned. Yeah. Speaking of River Country, when we did our River Country episode, we were talking about the Urban Explorers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Got back there too.
Yeah. People have video of going back there.
So Dane, let's go ahead and talk about. So why is any Figment to this bad? Like, why is it bad?
Your Journey into Imagination with.
Yeah.
Well, it's not bad, but the way they portray him is bad, because he's not really a pest. It's supposed to be the Imagination Lounge, not the Imagination Lodge. It's supposed to be the Imagination Institute, but they portray the thing that it symbolizes imagination as annoying. So I don't know what kind of message you're trying to send. And also the thing with Journey into Your Imagination is they literally backhand the guest in the face with the thing about you have no imagination. And then at the end you find how do you find imagination in this terrible, terrible ride? Explain that to me, please.
Daydreaming, I guess.
I guess so.
You know, I mean, I probably have been on Journey into Imagination as a kid, and I just don't.
Just confused.
Yeah, this is all, you know, when you're a kid, things are all, it's like mixed together. So.
Mm-hmm.
Our next segment comes to us from Remy's Roundtable, and it involves another one of my favorite discussions of Dane's opinions, specifically on what was at the time the upcoming 50th anniversary of the Magic Kingdom.
Really voicing your opinion there, guys. Really cool.
Dan, I was going to add, starting on September 29th, guys, if you're listening and if you guys are out at the Magic Kingdom Resort, you guys need to check out the very last showing of Happily Ever After. It's the last night of the fireworks display show, and that's going on September 29th. So get your park reservation, go in there, and make sure you guys check out the very last showing of Happily Ever After at Disney's Magic Kingdom. All right, Dan, what else do you have, man?
So Disney shared the showtimes for the Disney Kite Tales that's coming to Animal Kingdom. It's going to be showing at 11:15 a.m., 12:15 p.m., 1:15, 3:15, 4:15, and 5:15.
That's cool.
So every hour, and it's so funny to me that this Kite Tales, which it's a kite show. It's not something to, considering that they were promising us Tron and Guardians and we're getting a kite show. It's not really something to be excited for. But it's so funny to me that they keep hyping this thing, and they put out a video and said, you know, it's going to be such a treat for our fans to see Disney characters on kites. Or I can go to Amazon and buy that. Like, hey, what do you mean? Like, it's not going to be anything special. It's kites on water. Like, I know. I could put a bucket of water and put a kite in it, and then there's Kite Tales. But yeah, it's it's gonna be cool, but yeah, it's just funny to me how much hyping they're doing for this.
Yeah.
ABC is gonna be showing the most magical story on Earth. Yeah, it's going to be called The Most Magical Story on Earth, 50 Years of Walt Disney World. It's going to be on Friday, October 1st. We'll have special performances and special guests as well, behind the scenes look at upcoming projects. So these things drive me crazy with the ABC things, because they have like it's supposed to be like like the Christmas parades. They show like 5 minutes in the parade, and then the rest of it is Sabrina Carpenter singing about whatever. So it's like, it's just weird, and especially this, because they're calling it the most magical story on Earth, but the commercial literally doesn't say anything about the magical story, and has the guy from Blackish saying about like Julie Andrews, Tom Brady, John Stamos, George Lucas. They're all going to be in it, and then there's Christina Aguilera singing. Where's the story in that?
So
give me the stuff about the opening of Walt Disney World. Give me the stuff about what the fans actually want, not the things that the corporate is shoving down our throats.
So are you saying that Anthony Anderson is going to be part of the guest celebrity list from Blackish?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
It's okay. The teacher specifically showcases the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind and Galactic Star Cruiser project, both of which were debuted in 2021. Yeah, so it's calling it the most magical story on Earth, but then there's Christina Aguilera singing. Like
that makes no sense.
Like, was she there in 1971? Like, is there something I'm missing here? Like, it's the same thing with the what's it called? Oh, what was that documentary called? On Disney Plus. Oh, Behind the Attraction. Like half of it was a commercial and not an actual documentary. Like the Jungle Cruise episodes. The Space Mountain episode was a commercial for Tron. If you're calling it the most magical story, give us the story of Walt Disney World then. Tell us about Discovery Island. Tell us about River Country. Tell us about the opening day in 1971.
Yeah.
Stop giving us the same thing that you give us every year and actually celebrate your history. Like, we know what's coming. We know Tron is going to come. We know Galactic Star Cruiser is coming. We know Guardians of the Galaxy is coming. Like, if you're who is not a Disney fan watching this? Like, I want to be that person who is watching Walt Disney World 50th anniversary celebration and doesn't know a single thing about Disney World. Like, show me that guy, and then I will stop this.
Yeah.
Like, if I present to you the story of Starabelia's and I give you an ad for my recent store, you're going to be pretty pissed off because that's clickbait.
No shit.
God.
That sounds,
I'm literally making a video right now about the story of Day Out with Thomas. And if I upload that tomorrow and it's not the story of Day Out with Thomas, people are going to be pissed.
Oh, yeah.
Disney keeps doing this, but whatever.
And see, Dan, what you're also talking about is a certain company who does this all the fucking time. And it's
ridiculous. They give us a documentary of Disney World, something we've been clamoring for ever since Disney Plus launched, and then it's an ad for Tron.
Yeah.
And now we're back to Remy's Roundtable, where in this segment, Dane gives us some of his insight on the famous "We Don't Talk About Bruno" scene that became a worldwide phenomenon in the 2021 film Coco.
Disney Plus has just reached its 130 million subscribers. Yeah, Disney Plus just reached 130 million subscribers. That is great news for them. Lin-Manuel Miranda would like an Encanto theme park attraction. So he pitched his idea to Bob Chapek, but will it happen? That's the question. Will we see an Encanto attraction at the Disney theme park?
Yes, here's why. I was looking at this the other day. So when Frozen released, they announced the Frozen ride not even a year after the movie was released, and then the ride opened 2 years later. Now, Disney has so many things to open right now that we probably won't be seeing that soon. Like that kind of thing where in September we'll get a ride announcement. But We Don't Talk About Bruno, there's a scene where at the very end, when Mirabel goes down that hallway, and then they go like outside, and then it's towards the end of the song. But if you watch the song, you know what I'm talking about. They actually designed that after a dark ride. Like they intentionally designed that after a dark ride.
Really?
So
what's a dark ride, by the way? I don't know that.
Okay, a dark ride is like Peter Pan, which is a dark ride. Snow White, Great Adventures, that was also... Scary Adventure, that was also a dark ride.
Sorry.
Pirates of the Caribbean, that's also considered as a dark ride. Haunted Mansion is also considered as a dark
Small
ride
World?
as well. Small World, no.
Why?
Small World's a boat ride.
That's
Okay.
a boat ride, yes.
Yeah, it's a boat ride, but it's in the dark. So is that what you mean by a dark ride?
No. It was no, but it was designed because if you really think about it, if you can pull up the clip quickly while I'm talking about this, the listeners or you guys, you follow Mirabel. The camera follows Mirabel down this hallway, and they were saying that it was modeled after a dark ride because you follow a character, or you I forget exactly what they said, but you follow a character, and there was characters on the left and right of you, so they said we modeled that after a ride, a theme park ride.
It looks, dude, when you look at that scene where they're doing the You Don't Talk About Bruno and everything, it literally looks like... Okay, I don't know why you're doing this, but anyway, so when you're going to that one part where after they start the madrigal part of it, where everybody's doing everything at the same time, that's that part where she goes from Camilo to the other cousin to her aunt, to her tia and tío, and then goes through into it. It's almost like, I know it's not Disney, but it reminds me of when you're walking through, you enter Diagon Alley. It's almost sort of that feeling where you're going in a sort of weird turn.
Now I know exactly what you're talking about, Dane. I just saw the clip. Yeah,
it's right.
Yeah.
So it's right after Camilo's part.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I got it.
You know, and then because right after Camilo's part, they go into the madrigal part of it. They go into which is madrigal is when you have multiple verses going over each other, and at the same time, and they're different beats. So like they have different rhythms.
They
so, like,
do.
No. That's what a madrigal is.
Oh.
And they are named the madrigals. That's a little Mickey Mouse there. So
that's a hidden Mickey right there.
Yeah. Right. So they do Lin-Manuel Miranda is awesome when it comes to that. So that's when that's what reminds me of like a Disney ride or even a Universal ride, is that little part right after Camilo. So that's what you were talking about?
Right after, where Camilo sings his.
Now we're headed to the It Came From Disney Plus podcast, specifically the Season 3 premiere about the Adventures in Babysitting film. This is perhaps one of the funniest clips of Dane on Another podcast, so enjoy.
Mr. Kingpin, I think you're getting your Back to the Future movies confused. Elizabeth Shue is far better than Claudia Wells.
Oh God, just had to shoehorn so many references.
That's our podcast, though.
Oh yeah.
True.
Andy
You want
Rapp
references?
Andy Rapp is
Andy,
Daryl.
you want references? Do you like
Yeah.
Huey Lewis and the News?
Yeah, I like Huey and Lewis in the News.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, their early work was a little new wave for my taste. But when sports came out in '83, they really came into their own, commercially and artistically. The whole album has a crisp, unique sound that really gives the songs a big boost. They've been compared to Elvis Costello, but I think Huey has a far more bitter, cynical sense of humor.
Oh my God.
You finally saw what I put in the Discord chat for you to do the American Psycho. Yeah.
In '87, Huey released this, For, their most accomplished album. I think their undisputed masterpiece is Hip to Be Square, a song so catchy most people probably don't listen to lyrics. But they should, because it's not about the pleasures of conformity and the importance of trends. It's also a personal statement about the band itself.
Thanks.
By the way, I didn't look at a script for that. I know that entire monologue.
Yeah, I know
Of
you've
course,
tweeted it
of
before.
course.
You've tweeted the whole thing
You're
before.
gonna turn this into a shit post. Like every episode you're on, you can find a way to that. Oh.
You want to know how long we've been recording for context?
Yeah.
An hour
Mm.
already,
Yeah,
and we're
an
not
hour,
even towards
right.
the end of the movie.
Nice. We are, though. We are towards the end of the movie.
Let's just finish this up before it.
So,
like Huey Lewis on the News? Their early work was a little too new wave for my taste. But when sports came out in '83, I think they really came into their own, commercially and artistically.
Where am I hearing this from?
it's, yeah, it's the gods. Their answer goes first to do the to do
Legitimately terrifying. I was like, I don't know what window this audio is coming from.
Mets, baby. Love the Mets. All right, baby. Let's go. Get a home run, baby. Love the Mets. Let's go, Mets.
Okay. So
All right, let's continue. They better be back in time.
That's my favorite Huey Lewis and the News song. Avoid CBS.
Yeah, the early,
You like
the
Huey
early
Lewis
work was
in
a
the
little
News?
too new wave for me, but
Their
when
early
it
work was
comes
a
to
little
the
too
Back to the Future
new
sound,
wave for my taste. But when sports came out in '83,
Let's
they
go,
really came
baby.
into their
The
own,
Mets.
commercially and artistically.
This episode's gonna be.
You like
wild.
Huey Lewis and the News?
This episode.
Their early work was a little new wave for my taste, but when Back to the Future came out in '85, they really came into their own, commercially and artistically. The whole movie has a crisp, unique vision that really gives the story a big boost.
what is this? What is hype?
This is gonna be our most listened to episode. I'm crying from laughter. This movie was perfect to do because this.
You did a wonderful job researching for this podcast, as always.
No, I was just like, you want to watch Adventures in Babysitting? And everyone was like, sure. And then Dane crashed it and we ended up doing a podcast episode.
There's often debates between the three movies. But I think the first is easily the best.
Oh no, part 2 is the best, Dane. How
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, they're all equal, but part 2 I think is the effects are better. That's probably the only thing that was like lackluster in the original, because all of them are like equally as good. Even part 3 that I don't like as much, it's not a bad movie.
I hate part 3.
Oh, you hate part 3 because it's the one that's
I don't
referenced.
know why. I feel like by
in
the third
89,
time, it's like, okay,
in
I get
80
the tropes now.
In '89, Universal released this part 2.
And Back to the Future: The Ride.
And the animated series. And the comics.
I still think the best scene is easily Earth Angel, a song so catchy most people probably don't listen to the lyrics.
But they should.
But I mean,
But
Sony
they should,
Eclipse is a
because
very-
it's not only about Marty disappearing. It's also
Just about the love their parents have for each other and making of me levels of being.
But it's also
fascinated
great
with my own
character
birth.
development for both Lorraine and George. Hey, Paul.
Hey, can you grab my black gloves, Paul? Hey, can we get some backstage passes for Huey Lewis in the news?
How about some backstage passes?
It's just gonna become Rock and Roller Coaster, but Huey
I was
Lewis in the
already robbed
news.
of a concert once.
And now for a unique clip from It Came From Disney Plus. In this clip, there was a guest swap between Big Beautiful Diz and It Came From Disney Plus. You may recall that Brendan from It Came From Disney Plus hosted the most recent April Fool's Day episode of Big Beautiful Diz on the Lights, Motors, Action show at Hollywood Studios. In turn, Dane hosted an episode of It Came From Disney Plus about the film Gulliver's Travels. A clip from that episode is featured next.
So that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And then when he goes back is the stupidest thing that Darcy falls in love with him. And then the way that he defeats General Edwardian is just by like defeating this like robot he made, and then the princess like just knees him, and then all of a sudden they sing what is it good for? It's like this just a stupid ending because nothing is really defeated. Like sure you got General Edwardian, fine, and like Horatio finally gets a princess and everything, but how does Horatio have enough courage from Gulliver to ask out the prince or like get the princess? Because Gulliver, mind you, does not have any game. So like how is he teaching somebody how to woo a girl if he doesn't know how to do that because he's too nervous to? It's like the character of Gulliver does not make any sense in the context of what this movie is trying to do. And like, yeah, you could say it's a character arc or whatever, but it's like, no, it's stupid and it needs to be called out, I guess. And like, I can see where people have a problem. My main problem with the movie, and by the way, it did not hold up. I thought Gulliver's Travel was like, I'm not really a believer of like, it's so bad it's good. It's either good movie, great movie, awesome movie, or bad movie. There's no in between. It's not so good it's bad. But Gulliver's Travels, I kind of did believe that it was bad, but that's what kind of made it good almost. Like I enjoyed it because of how stupid it was, and it's a stupid movie. But it's the kind of movie that you can laugh at it being so stupid. It's stupid but fun. You know what I mean? That's what I wrote down in my notes. But this rewatch, I just kind of, I got a different feeling. I finally I watched it and I was like, this is so different from the books, where I can see where people were angry at this. I can see why people find this stupid. And the more the movie went on, it's like, yeah, the writing is not that great. The characters are not that great. I don't like when studios try to take an old story like Romeo and Juliet. You know, they did the like Miami Beach version or whatever. It was like, who was in that? Like Leonardo DiCaprio or something, and they tried to make it like modern times. Those don't work because it just ends up being like a novelty movie almost. Like it's like, oh, the main source of funny in this movie is because it's set in modern times. But in Gulliver's Travels, by insulting the main character by making him a dumbass basically, and not a sailor, and not knowing how is he even going to get home? Because if he doesn't know how to sail, he doesn't know how to sail, and he doesn't know how to get back home. So like, that just hit me. How is he going to get back home if he's not a sailor? Because like the boat's like navigation system isn't going to be fixed.
So like there's a plot hole. But like the whole thing about Gulliver working in the mailroom, it's not funny. It's just it's stupid. But again, what I like about the movie is Jack Black. Honestly, because I just like Jack Black as an actor. And yeah, he can be dumb in movies. I mean, like Tenacious D is a stupid movie, and I don't like Tenacious D, by the way. The movie, some of their songs are fine, but the movie itself, I do not like. And like Nacho Libre is dumb. So there's Jack Black movies that are stupid, and I guess I would put Gulliver's Travels in that list. And yes, Gulliver's Travels should have a proper movie. Because it would be cool. It would be cool to see an adult, Gulliver's Travels where the Lilliput people aren't nice to him and he has to, because in the book he goes to like different places. So like that, I was kind of like, oh, once I figured that out, once I knew that about the book, it would be like, oh, it would be cool to see different places besides Lilliput that this guy travels. But he's not a sailor, so he can't do that. Because the only reason that he is going to sail in the first place to go to Lilliput is to impress some girl that we do not know and is no character background whatsoever, except that she is Gulliver's love interest. We only know her name and last name. We do not know a single thing about her except that she likes Gulliver. That's the only thing we know about her. I don't even know where he works. Like the mailroom, what is it? Like, is it a bunch of offices or like what? So like, I mean, that just hit me too. The world building is atrocious too, because I mean, you just know he works in the mailroom, but what building does he work in? Is it a travel agency? Is that why she has to have him write something? Is that why? I don't know. It's just and like Lilliput isn't really like what is the Lilliput? Why is the Bermuda Triangle the place that you can get to Lilliput? Where like I want explanations.
Next up, we're going to be heading to the Nerd Archive podcast. The Nerd Archive podcast focuses on fandoms and different nerdy items of note from Star Wars and Harry Potter to video games and technology. In this clip, Dane discusses some of his own favorite fandoms with the Nerd Archive crew.
Deal or No Deal is a great show. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm trying to tee up a topic and I can't think of anything else.
I'd rather Family Feud.
Family Feud's a great show too. You ever get those families on Family Feud at the game shows and they're like really bad and you just want them to lose a lot of money? Like you just have a deep hatred in your heart and you're just like really wanting them to lose, like make the worst decision of their life. Like on Family Feud, if the answer is like what's under the hood of a car, you really want them to say like steering wheel or something, like something really stupid that won't be on the board.
Man, go ahead.
Oh, some of the answers that you get on that show are just like head scratching and just baffling. It's like, what the fuck? And then some of them are just absolutely fucking hilarious. And either way, like sometimes you have to just laugh uncontrollably.
I was watching an episode and there was a guy who was giving the dumbest answers of all time, but they were somehow on the board. Like it was like I forget what it was. I forget exactly, but it was like, what is something that's inside of your PC? And this guy said like mouse, and it was somehow on the board. It was like completely wrong, and it was somehow on the board.
That's funny.
It's like who are you polling?
Yep. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're clearly polling some of the
My
dumbest
favorite
people
answer
in
of
the
all
world when it
time
comes to that.
is when they ask what a burglar would not like to see when he breaks into your house. And the guy says, naked grandma.
Naked grandma. That's the best answer.
And the guy across from him is like, I wouldn't want to see that either.
Was it up on the board? Was it correct? I mean,
No.
And the look.
Yes, it was, but it was because it was a person. The answer was a person.
It was a loose question. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
it was a loose answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get the over-the-top people that you really want to lose, and then they give the dumb answer, and it's not on the board, and then you're on the couch like, let's go.
Good answer. Oh, I've actually seen the families that in the first question the person gets it wrong, and then they're like, good answer, and by the end of the show they're not even clapping. They're like,
yeah, that's the funniest part of the show is when they keep giving stupid answers, except the crowd has to keep clapping for them, and the family has to keep saying good answer. That's the funniest.
I think that Steve Harvey actually called out a family for not doing it. He's like, good answer, right? It's funny. I love that show.
No.
Sometimes I sit on my couch and watching YouTube compilations of Family Feud.
You know, there's a Wii game for that too. There's a Wii game.
Do you want me to get a
and
Wii? Is that what it is?
Yes. No, because we can't play online. But like, there's a Wii game for that too, and of course I have it because my Wii games, I have terrible Wii games. Like I have bangers such as Deal or No Deal and Madagascar Carts and Monster Jam or Urban Assault. So like absolute classics. And I have the Family Feud game. And I was playing the Family Feud game. And the way that it's set up is that you can put in any answer you want because it comes up a keyboard. Like they don't give you like specific answers. So the question was the question was what's under the hood of a car, and I put in transmission, and I got the answer wrong.
You were waiting for a stupid answer, is what it is.
Yeah.
Mouse.
Oh, you can put in some like weird. Yeah, you can put in some terrible answers, and it's not filtered. That's the best thing.
That's great.
It is. It's a great game. It's a great game.
Now we're headed to the No New Friends podcast, and in this clip, Dane has a very entertaining story to share with the crew.
Something really cool, Dane, and I've talked about it. I talked about it when Joe was on, but you got to see the post-apocalyptic river country, which is really, really cool. Tell me about that, because I could hear the excitement in your voice when you were telling the story.
I saw that this weekend, Scott, in the Catskills, actually.
I've actually seen, I haven't been in them, but I've actually seen a couple of abandoned places at Disney. I've seen Discovery Island, where the old dock used to be, and the utility shed. I've seen River Country, and then I've seen Wonders of Life. I've actually been in Wonders of Life when it was abandoned, when it was open for the festival. But the River Country, it was really, really cool because I got as close as I could without going in.
Right.
I was like, okay, if we can get as close, it would be fine, because we saw the ticket booth and it was like, okay, this is cool. Then Mom points something out. In the crack between the trees, there's a slide. When you can hear the excitement just telling the story, telling you that this excitement was times 10 is an understatement. This was one of the coolest. It was the coolest thing I've ever seen on Disney property. And mind you, my favorite attraction ever is Cranium Command. And I got as close as it to that. This was way, way, way better.
What year was this, Dane? When you saw it?
This was 2018. It was.
And when did it close?
2001.
See, that blows my mind that they let that sit there for that long without capitalizing on it.
I saw it about 3 months before it was demolished.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I got one of the last looks ever. Crazy story. I probably shouldn't be telling this, but crazy story. When I was there last time.
I tell all kinds of things I regret later on.
This is probably going to get me in like serious trouble, but
don't worry, we have to sign forms.
Last time I was, you're gonna spread this all over. But last time I was there, me and my buddy stumbled onto the construction site of one Reflections Resort because we were at Fort Wilderness, and it was night. We were going down the Fort Wilderness train railroad tracks.
We all need a little breaking and entering in our lives, Dane. It's okay.
But we were going down the
Mary
railroad
has a
tracks.
theft charge that's still pending.
First of all,
we were going down the old railroad tracks, which is completely open to guests. It's actually a running trail. And we come up on the new Tri-Circle D Ranch that they just did. They just refurbished it. So we were like, okay, let's go back to the outpost like normal people would. So we see this trail and we're like, okay, that must be the trail, because there was no signs, there was no light. You know, that was a stupid decision, but there was no signs, no anything. So we go down this trail, and then all of a sudden we come up on open construction.
Please tell me there was like a bulldozer you just jumped in.
Well, there was like trailers, and we were like, we're not supposed to be here.
Let's bust one open.
Dude, golf cart comes speeding up like Smokey from Smokey and the Bandit. He gets out and he's like, "You two cast members." I'm like, no, sir. You know,
do we look like it, sir? Do we look like it?
I'm like, no, sir. So he's like, okay, follow me. So we go here, we go to the bus stop, and he said that was off limits. And we say, oh, so sorry, there was no signs or anything. It's like, he says, it's okay. Just, don't go back there. So I was like, all right. Got on the bus.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah, we were like, got on the bus, and I told my buddy, and the bus was right there. I was like,
wait, I have a question. Was the bus just shipping off people who stumbled over there, or what was that bus?
No, security brought them to the bus stop.
They took us to the bus stop because they were probably like, let's get them out of here.
Let's just, I hope they get back to where they were supposed to go.
It was a weird thing because we got a packet that said trespass. So I don't know what that meant. But, I'm joking.
You don't have to worry about it. That's your parents' problem now.
I'm joking, but yeah, there was a bus there. It was going back from Fort Wilderness to Wilderness Lodge, and I was like, I don't care where this bus is going. Let's get on it. He was like,
just get me the hell out of here.
That's awesome.
Chris, what's the name of the guy from Salad Gate?
Oh, Bruce Woodburn.
He could tell you about that trespass thing if you need help navigating it.
To end out our clip show here, we have one final clip that also comes to us courtesy of the No New Friends podcast. So Dane, I have just one question for you. Are you ready to play Florida Man or Jersey Man?
Whether flipping a fan boat or crashing a truck, these states are filled with people who suck. So it's time for us to play New Jersey Man versus Florida Man.
Ready to play Florida Man versus Jersey Man.
Woohoo.
All right, every week Ryan brings us two news stories. We've got to guess if it's a Jersey Man story or a Florida Man story. So take it away, Ryan.
Hey guys, this is Ryan from the No New Friends newsroom located this week at Dane's house. He was feeling a bit down since Chris said he wasn't going to go to the Renaissance Fair with him, so I came over to cheer him up.
Hey guys, it's okay. Chris, I understand the weather is going to suck and you don't want to go out in it. It's all cool.
Hey Dane, look at that girl outside in the rain.
Wait a minute, that's not a little girl. That's Chris. Why is he wearing a women's raincoat?
I'm pretty sure he gets his clothes out of the trash cans. He may have found it. He's heading over to the Renaissance Fair.
What? What do you mean he's heading over to the Renaissance Fair? Why would he do that?
Some people are just bad friends.
He's going to the Renaissance Fair without me. Continue with your news. I can't. I'm going to go kick his ass.
No, Dane, he's not worth it. You'll break his fragile little bones. Plus, you'll look like you're fighting a small child, and that's just not a good look.
You're right. It's not worth it. Okay, continue.
Why don't you sit down and relax, and we'll get into this week's Florida Man or Jersey Man.
I need a glass of water.
In our first story, animal control is called to capture a fake parrot.
I need to compose myself. In our second story, a man went to the Renaissance Fair without his friend and didn't tell him what he was doing.
Whoa. Dane, read the story I gave you.
I'm sorry. In our second story, your boyfriend is jailed after felonious cheeseburger battery at Burger King.
And with that, we will conclude our clip show for Dane's 200th video of Big Beautiful Diz. Dane, congratulations, man. Here's to 200 more videos and beyond.